So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and we had the Galaxy S26 Ultra unboxing just a few days ago, and I do want to give you my updated 3-day thoughts on this because now I have a little bit more data to share with you. I'm going to go ahead and just start with the body and the build of this phone, and we're going to go on to the next thing. First of all, it just feels very nice in the hand. We do have the armor aluminum around the edges, which is definitely not as premium as the titanium, but it still feels nice in the hand. It still feels like a premium device. The glass back is a matte textured, and I do think this white is very clean. I'm really enjoying the look of the camera housing, but I'm not enjoying this right here. And I know a lot of people say, come on, dude, like just put a case on it and it'll fix that. Actually, as a matter of fact, Samsung's included magnet case right here that I got for free doesn't 100% fix that. So if I go ahead and place that there, there's still some rock. You might be saying, who's going to go over here and just purposely go like that? That's not what I'm saying, but sometimes you have the thing on the table and it's just a little bit, rocky. So it's not like my favorite to, have, it's just a little bit rocky on the table. And there is times when you do go ahead and use that on the table. So I'm not loving that so far, but I do like the look of the camera housing on all the S26 models right here. I like the rings around the edge. They just look better than before. However, I think some previous Ultra lines looked even better, like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. I'm going to go ahead and show you this one. Let me get it out of its case. But the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra actually had a shinier ring around the edge. So I actually think this phone had one of the better looking cameras of the past 3 iterations, the S24 Ultra, but this is pretty nice as well. So another thing about the body of this phone is it's felt pretty light. So I've been enjoying the light weight of it. So definitely like that. It's been pretty excellent to hold. It's smoother in the corners as well. So from these edges right here, I've noticed over the past few days, the phone has just felt pretty nice to hold. It's still not quite as smooth though as a Pixel or an iPhone in the corners, or even some Honor phones, some of those phones with more rounded edges at the corner, but it still feels unique. It still feels very Samsung. Feels very like their own identity. So I do like that aspect, but the phone itself definitely a little bit sharper in the corners than those, but still not like sharp. It just, what I'm saying is you feel it more. You can tell it's more square than the other devices, but they are more comfortable than ever before now. Another thing I noticed is, I talked about it a little bit in the unboxing, but the S Pen is reversible, but it doesn't look right if you put it in the wrong way. So you can go ahead and place it in there, but then it kind of looks like it doesn't fit properly. So I don't like that. It's not like the S24 Ultra where it doesn't matter which way you put it, it looked right. You actually got to put it in the right way for it to look flush with the body of the phone. This is a little nitpick, but I like to look for the details with the phone. I do like that it has SIM card slot. I love that actually, because a lot of this eSIM business is not for everybody. But we do have a fast USB-C charging, and I do notice it does charge quite a bit faster. But generally, I feel like it feels like a very nice premium high-end phone. So they still got that part on point for sure. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and this one's been getting some controversy, and that is the actual display itself. So Samsung actually included this new feature, which you're going to see right here, privacy display. And if you turn this on and you turn it to a different angle, people can no longer peep what you're doing on your phone. However, it also dims the display, and it's been changed actually at the hardware level. The pixel arrangement has been changed. And so because of that, now if you look very closely, the text on some angles, some people are going to perceive to not be as sharp. They also might perceive it to be a little fuzzy or something like that. And I've noticed this myself. At first, your eyes got to adjust, but after a few days, I've kind of gotten used to the display, and I don't really notice it too much anymore. If you actually look at the Pixels, the spec sheet, they actually do have the same like resolution basically as the S25 Ultra. And I would say sharpness wise, it's almost identical. But you definitely do notice a little difference if you're used to other devices without this pixel arrangement. You kind of got to get used to it because it definitely can cause eye strain, I think, to some sensitive eye users. I've been noticing a little bit more strain on my eyes as well over the couple days, but yesterday was like the 3rd day. I was already kind of getting used to it, so I wasn't straining my eyes too much. I think it's just an adjustment period. Your eyes are going to have to adjust to this new pixel arrangement at the hardware level. But once you do, the display is fine. Also, I only noticed that on some viewing angles, the text can look a little bit different than before. But the actual viewing angles are strong. The color reproduction is good. I do notice this phone feels a little bit less vivid. It feels like Samsung is going more towards a natural look with these products right here. So I definitely feel like they're going more that way. But if you go to vivid, you can crank it up to the max vivid and it still looks rather vivid. But still, generally, I find the calibration of this display to be pretty good. Also, it's still an 8-bit panel technically, so HDR content might look better on some other phones. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to bother most users. It's probably definitely not a deal breaker. And some people might actually think because of the new pixel arrangement that the text looks actually sharper. So it's really going to come down to the user. I would say test this out in store before committing to it, because there have been some reports of people already returning their phone just because they think the display looks weird. Personally, I think at first it looked a little bit strange, but I'm getting used to it and I'm not returning my phone because I do like the performance of this phone. I do like the battery improvement. It's actually better battery life than before. And I just like the overall look of this white S26 Ultra. So I'm definitely keeping mine. You'll see right here, the punch hole got a little bit bigger. I'm not a fan of this. It looks a lot like the A series now, which kind of cheapens the look to me. So not a fan of that. I actually wanted them to go to a UDC type camera with an all display, and they actually made it bigger and a little bit more in your face. So not a fan of that right there on a display front a few days later. One thing I am a fan of, and you've probably seen in my speed test already, is the performance. While only slightly faster than the S25 Ultra, Samsung is further improving their lead in this department with 97% better performance score than other devices on the market. So S26 Ultra is no joke in this area. It is one of the most fun to use, stimulating, multiple features, fast, productive, everything in the kitchen sink phones on the market. This thing is impressive. Some people are going to call this the best Android skin available. It definitely gets One UI 8.5, Android 16, and has 12 gigabytes of RAM. So not the most RAM on a phone, but it definitely tends to not really seem to matter. It seems to be just fine. I don't like with the memory chip shortage, well, not chip shortage, the memory storage issues going on right now, getting costlier, that we didn't get that deal we usually get with the 512 gig. So I'm on the 256 gig right here because personally it's actually enough for me, but I just like when they used to throw in that extra 256 gigs. But yeah, 256 gigs is going to be your starting point. You're going to go up a couple $100, so they pass that cost on to the consumer. So you are going to pay a little bit more if you want that extra storage this year versus previous years. Now, when it comes to the actual cameras, I'm going to go ahead and pull in a couple of samples here. Give me 1 second. I just don't want to show no personal information. But you can see right here, we do have pretty good color reproduction, very sharp details overall. So the camera is absolutely stunning on this phone. One of the best I've seen on the market for sure. I can't say yet without comparing them directly that it is the best, but it's one of the best for sure. So I'm really, really loving that with this phone. You can see right here, again, very nice colors, very sharp, very good details. Up close, you can see a little bit of noise when you really zoom in, but still, again, one of the better cameras you're going to find on the market today. So really been enjoying the actual camera results. We're talking about a 200 megapixel main sensor on there. So you should expect that with 2 other 50 megapixels and a 10 megapixel telephoto. So you should expect some really good results 3 days later. Definitely playing at the top of the game when it comes to camera, but I'm not sure it's the best camera. There are phones, I think, with better cameras, especially on the front. I would give that to the iPhone, but Samsung decided to keep a similar style camera on the front as last year, so they need to upgrade that in the future. Now, when it comes to actual connectivity, Bluetooth has been very fast. If you want to know about my thoughts about the privacy display feature, I think it's kind of going to be a gimmicky feature for those of you who don't need it, but for those of you who are out and about a lot, it's definitely not a gimmicky feature. So gimmicky feature would be the term for somebody who doesn't need it. But for somebody going on the train, out and about, businessy people, and they're walking around doing stuff on their phone, that is definitely a useful feature. So it's going to depend on the user, whether that's a gimmick to you or not. But for me, I like it. It's definitely very private. I will say right here, The fingerprint sensor is the same as before. That's pretty good. But one of the areas I like about this phone is that even though it has the same battery capacity, they've proven you don't need to always get the biggest battery to go ahead and have a good battery, because it's actually been relatively better to me than the past. So this is already performing significantly better to me than the S25 Ultra. So I'm happy with the battery life so far. I still want a bigger battery in the future. Let's not kid ourselves, but it's been pretty good. Now the 60-watt wired charging is also faster, and I think that's going to be quite enough for most people, coming up from 45 watts. Pretty darn good. Wireless at 25 watts. So that's also very solid. Phone call quality is great too, with pretty loud speakers, and the One UI 8.5 has just been really fun to use. It's just so much features. Like, you could just play with this phone all day. It's like hard to put this phone down. That's how much fun it is. That's why that's what I've been doing. I just haven't been able to put this phone down over the past few days. It's that fun. And to me, it's more fun than most of the other phones on the market. So it has like kind of everything. It's like a jack of all trades, but a master of no trades, because to me, it doesn't do anything specifically better or the best of every other phone, but it does everything well. So it kind of lives up to that Ultra name, but there's still a lot of upgrades that could be made here. For example, they could still go to the 10-bit display technically. They could get rid of the camera and go an all screen. They could, honestly, I think they should just make it a little thicker and give us a better battery life. Like, period. Just give us a bigger battery. I don't care if it's thicker. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit thicker and it would stop rocking on the table to give us better battery. That's what I wouldn't mind. This obsession with thinness at this level, I think, is a little bit ridiculous, because I think a lot of people at this size would rather have a beastly phone with a beastly battery than a slight more thinness. Let me know if you agree with that down below. But that's my first few days later with this phone. This is not my full review. I haven't had enough time to give you a full review, but I will be coming back with some comparisons to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the upgrade comparisons. We already did a speed test, and we'll be doing some more speed tests against some older S24 Ultras, OnePlus 15s. So stay tuned for that. But that's my first few days with it, and that's my initial thoughts. If you want to see my unboxing where we give a first impressions of it, you can go check that out as well. Also, we did a speed test on this already. But let me know your thoughts. Did you get your S26 Ultra already? Let us know how you've been liking it so far. Are you going to keep it, return it, or are you getting yours today? Let us know down below in the comment section of this video. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here, and I will catch you on the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace.